Hey, 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 everybody. Happy New Year. John Robinson here. We are live with our very first Tuesday talks of the year. Can you believe it? 2026. We made it all the way through 2026 and January 1st. Is it the first Tuesday? I think it is. Yeah, first Tuesday of the month of January. And we are glad to be here. Aren't you glad you made it? I've heard people say 2025 kicked their rear end. And I actually kind of curious to hear from you guys. How was 2025? Drop a little comment in the notes in the chat. Let me know how your 2025 ended, how you feel like it went. You can give me a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs down. You can give me a big boo. But let me know how your 2025 went. How did it wrap up? I have a little bit of a different story. My 2024 kicked my butt, and for a variety of reasons, and I'm not going to go into today, but boy, business life, personal life, even with moving into a different state, somewhat unexpectedly, just a lot of stuff happened in 2024. 2025 really wasn't that much better, but I will say this. I felt like at the end of the year, at the end of 2025, things began to really actually start catching momentum. There's one thing I learned in 2024 when everything was falling apart, everything was blowing up in my face, everything was looking grim and desperate. If there's one thing I learned in 2024 going through that is that you have to just keep going. You just have to just put your head down, throw your hands up, whatever you got to do, just get through it. But 2025, I can say honestly that I ended 2025 with a lot of excitement, with a lot of momentum, with some really good things in the works for this year, 2026, and it's because I didn't give up in 2024. It's that simple. You just stick with it long enough, and eventually you'll come out of it, right? Hey, Michael Garza, good to see you, man. He says lots of learning in 2025. Best year in the business so far. Man, I love hearing that. Michael, by the way, you and I, we got to get together right here in Meridian, Boise area. So we got to get together. In fact, I'll just use this opportunity to let you know, Michael, I am hosting our very first. I shouldn't say it's our very first because we've done this before, but we haven't actually hit a stride yet. So it's our first of our monthly TV REI group meetups here in the Treasure Valley, starting January 29th. Is a Thursday night, January 29th. Mark your calendars if you're in the Boise, Treasure Valley, Idaho area. Love to have you come out. It's a totally free meetup. So one thing that we do differently that we've done this in Portland for it's definitely 5 years now. Might be a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less, but I think it's definitely around 5 years. We've been doing this a monthly meetup every single month. We get together. We get in the same room together. We try to do it every third Thursday, which, by the way, if you guys are in Portland, you know what to do. You know where to be. The third Thursday, it's January 15th coming up. But what we do is we get together, and usually either myself or another local area speaker will come in and just kind of give. I hate to put it this way, but it's a little bit of a pep talk, right? But I like to try to give you something that's thought provoking, something that's motivating, maybe something to get you off your rear end and get your rear end gear again, maybe something just to kind of encourage you. But we try to do that every single month. And what I noticed by doing that in the Portland market was that we honestly we had so many people that just started making that their regular every third Thursday. They were there. The consistency of showing up, and then what I watch is I watched a lot of those same people ended up getting deals done. They started doing deals with the people that they were in the room with, and that goes for me too. I've done multiple deals. In fact, I would say the majority, and that's kind of crazy to think about it, but as I'm saying it, but it's the majority of my business. A lot of the deals that I did locally in the Portland market were done with people from the PDX REI group. And so by showing up and being consistent and then just being in the room, talking about deals, being around other people that are not just fly by night, but you see them, they're in every month, they're showing up, they're doing deals, they're talking about what they're trying to get over. They're bringing value and input to the meetup. we started seeing people do deals. I did deals. We got to talk about stuff. We had some great guests. We did the proximity event in February of 2025, February 2025. We did the proximity event, 2-day intensive workshop of just kind of in the room, locked in. Went through a lot of real estate training, talked about local deals, talked about the business in general, and then really talked about what the people in the room were struggling with and kind of helped them work through some stuff. It was really, really cool. Of course, we ended that event by having Pace Morby come in. He did a great job to close out that event. That was the Proximity Event 2025 in Portland. Don't hold me to it because, sometimes things don't work out the way that you want them to. But if you press me, and you really twisted my arm, I might confess to you that we're looking at doing a proximity event in the Boise area, Boise Meridian area in 2026. Probably going to be doing it in April, May if we're able to make it happen. And still got some ideas on who I'm going to be bringing in for that. But the proximity event is kind of an extension of the local monthly meetups. And then we just kind of get together and just really kind of close in and lock in, get stuff done. So it was awesome. So Michael says, I'm in. Cool, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, visiting with you and seeing what you're working on, how we can make 2026 be the best year ever. Guys, how was your 2025? I want to hear from you guys. It's our first Tuesday Talks of the year. I want to hear from you. How did your year end up? I'll show you this real quickly. This was kind of cool. Let's see here. Well, can I do this? I don't know if I should do it or not. Sometimes I want to show you guys stuff, then I'm like, oh, I should probably blur stuff out and let's see here. Well, I can show you this one. Okay. So this one, this check I just picked up yesterday. It was on my mailbox. So I want to see if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Let me know if you can see that right there. That was my first check of the year. It came in, $5,000. You say, well, that's only $5,000. Hey, it's $5,000 is $5,000. That's from, that's a JV deal that I did with somebody from the PDX REI group. In fact, that's a JV deal. Now that I'm talking about it, that's a JV deal that came about by somebody in the proximity event. So somebody in the proximity event, zero real estate experience whatsoever, zero real estate acumen, didn't know a wholesale from a wholesale, didn't know any of the terms or anything like that. Christina Perry is who I'm talking about. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not dogging on her at all. She didn't know what she didn't know, but she knew that she wanted to get into real estate. She showed up, came to the proximity event. She'd come out to a couple of our PDX REI group monthly meetups. Anyway, she jumped into a small kind of intensive coaching thing that I was doing. I'd never done it before. And so it was kind of a like, hey, you guys want to try this out? We'll go with it as well. Anyway, she followed everything to a T. She did a phenomenal job, and we closed her first deal right before Christmas, right after Christmas, rather, right before the New Year's. And she, I haven't heard from her yet, but she was able to go into the title company and pick up her first cashier's check. She is like, hey, should I get it wired? I said, you know what? Go into the title company and pick up a check. It's just, there's something cool about it. Can you guys attest to that? Michael, I know that you've done deals. If you guys have done deals before, let me know. Do you prefer a wire transfer, or do you like getting that check in the mail? Do you like being able to go into the title company? I personally, if I'm around, if it's a local thing, I love going into the title company and picking up that check and that cashier's check and getting a picture of it and just kind of the sense of, man, we did it. I don't know. It just feels a little different than a wire. Now, having said that, wire transfer is in your account, like that, and it's clear and ready to spend, the day it hits your account. So cashier's checks aren't what they used to be. But anyway, that was how we started out the year. Closed out the year with getting that deal done. You can see that it was issued on December 31st, and it was on my doorstep just the other day. So that was cool. $5,000. See if I got another one. There was another one that I was going to show you guys. This one actually closed out at the end of the year. So we had that one to kind of kick off the year. It's nice to get a check in the bank account at the beginning of the year. And then I've got this one right here. This is how we closed out the year. You can see this one is December 17th. December 17th. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But if you can't read it, it's $38,468 to close out the year, December 17th. So that was nice. So like I said, I think that 2025, at least for me, ended on a good note, meaning we wrapped up some deals, we closed some stuff out, we had some things not only go through and get to the finish line, but we also got to see some momentum that's carrying over into 2026. And I just really believe it's going to be a super good year. I'm excited about it. I think that the work that's been put in, if you guys aren't familiar with who I am, maybe you're watching for the first time, or you're just maybe every once in a while you're jumping in here. For me personally, I've kind of started over again here in the Boise area. Started out here, gotten married 25 years ago. Hard to believe that now, but 25 years ago, got married here, built our first house here. Then we moved up to Alaska after our first son was born. Lived in Alaska, built houses up there and moved into them. Kind of did that slow rollover thing. Didn't even really know what we were doing, but kind of house hacking, I guess is what it is. Rolling over the equity every couple of years into a new property, but really didn't know much more than construction. Then it was down studying for ministry training in Florida when 2008 hit. And all the equity that we'd built up over the years completely went away. We ended up limping out of Florida with the proverbial tail tucked between the legs. It was humiliating. It was a hard time. I had 3 little babies. One wasn't sure how I was going to feed them. Moved to Seattle because there was construction going on up there at the time. The only thing I could do is to pay the bills was swing a hammer. And so out on a job site with tool belt. And I remember thinking to myself, how is it that with everything else, the entire country is in this slump, the entire economy is tanked, nobody is buying houses. How is it that this guy that I'm working for is actually building these houses, spec home houses, ground up construction? I didn't mind because I was getting paid, but it kind of struck me as odd. Well, come to find out later on, he was buying bank-owned lots that had been repossessed from builders and developers that went under. Anyway, built for him a couple years, then ended up down in Portland where we really put our roots in for 14 years. And it was about 10 years ago that I accidentally flipped my first house. And you guys have probably heard that story. I'll tell it another time, but we accidentally flipped our first house. We're going to live in it, but sold it before we ever moved in. And then looking at that paycheck and understanding the process we'd just been through without even trying, and I made more money on one transaction. I mean, profit cleared more money on one transaction than I ever did working a 9 to 5 or in any other prospect that I'd ever been involved in. And that's when the light bulb went off. It's like, hey, this is that thing they call flipping. I'm going to learn everything I can about this. So I dove headlong into real estate. I'm a part of every high-level mentorship group that you can probably think of. I've paid in, I bought in, I've spent a lot of money over the last 10 years on education and self-development. And I will say this, it's all paid off. It all has a benefit, but there's nothing that beats actually going out, getting a deal locked up, getting a problem solved, getting a deal closed and helping people out, and then getting paid to do it. And so I show you guys that. Show you that check there again, $38,486. That was how we ended the year. And then the one I just showed you a minute ago, which is, it's not a ton of money, but hey, I'll take $5,000 anytime you want to give it to me, right? So these are checks that just came in the last couple of weeks. And I'm telling you that not at all to brag or anything like that. I'm just showing you that's what's possible in real estate. So I hope you guys are excited about this year. I hope you're fired up. I hope that you aren't giving up. Even if 2025 kicked you around the block, I hope you're not giving up. I hope you are locked in, ready to go, because I think it's going to be a good year. I think that if you are strategic, I think if you're consistent, I think that this is going to be an interesting year for real estate investors, especially for those that know how to do creative financing, especially for those that know how to collaborate, those that know how to do joint ventures, those that know how to creative close. And so I hope you guys are locked in. I hope you're ready for it. If you're not, or even if you are, I hope that you show up to the local meetups that we're doing. So we have got a little bit of a, we have a studio issue. I just had one of my lights fall over. So apologize for that. I never know what's going to happen on live Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, guys, hang on. All right. Put that on the reel. Okay, there we go. Kind of. That's pretty bright. Okay, sorry about that. You never know, right? It's live. That's where someone will take that and replay it and say this guy's a hack. Well, when it comes to my studio setup, I have to admit I'm a hack. If you guys could see this room that I'm in right now and how I have this stuff set up, my daughter came in earlier today. She's like, "Dad, what are you doing?" So, just got to make it work. So, but yeah, if you guys are able to come out to the PDX REI Group meetup, January 15th, I will be there. I've got something I want to talk to you guys about for the next couple of minutes. By the way, I've got to jump off right at the bottom of the hour today. Got a meeting coming up that I got to go over to in Meridian, and then another appointment at 4 o'clock. Let me tell you a little bit about what I have planned for these meetups and why I think it's so important for you to come out to this. First of all, you guys know I think that being in the room, nothing beats it, right? We are glad to have live stream. We're glad that we can do stuff like this, but nothing beats being in the room with other investors. Nothing beats being in the room with other people who have the similar mindset as you, people that are there to learn, people that are there to give. They're there to invest in each other, invest in themselves, invest in deals. I think it's the best rooms to be in, okay? Now, having said that, sometimes, hey, Peggy, good to see you. Glad you're able to make it. If you're just now joining, you guys let us know if you're on. Just say, hey, say hi. Let us know how your 2025 ended. I know that some people have already commented, but talked about that a little bit. But let me tell you a little bit about the PDX REI Group meetup and the TV REI Group, the first monthly meetup in the Treasure Valley area that we're going to be doing. I want to tell you just real quickly, ask me about the cost, okay? Because if I don't address this, you guys get on the comments and ask me about the cost of doing this, okay? So hear me out. Besides the fact that you're going to get to meet other people, right? Like I met Peggy at the PDX REI Group meetup. Peggy is here. She's awesome. If you guys don't know Peggy, you need to know her, okay? Besides the fact that you get to know other people and get to do deals together, and you're going to learn value. The other thing about the PDX REI Group meetup, the other thing about the local investor meetups is this. I have noticed that by being a part of the monthly meetups, being a part of the action, being there on a regular basis and receiving the input that's being given from not only myself, the other speakers, but also from the other attendees, what I've noticed is that people end up finding out what kind of investor they actually are. Okay. You say, what do you mean by that, John? Well, I'm glad you asked. So here's what I mean. When you are first getting involved in real estate, or maybe you've been in real estate for a long time, there's a real struggle for a lot of people with figuring out where to really get started or what to really land on. Can I get a witness? Anybody else like that? It's difficult, right? Why? Because real estate has so many different things that you can do, and there's so many different avenues that you can pursue that it's sometimes difficult to know where to really land. And that question of where to land and what to do, this is what I'm going to be covering in the upcoming meetup, okay? The reason why it's so important to be in these rooms, and especially for this first event of the year, this first PDX REI Group meetup on January 15th, the first Treasure Valley Real Estate Investors meetup on January 29th that we're doing. The reason why it's important to be in these rooms is if for no other reason, it's for this right here. Show up consistently, but show up to this one in particular because I'm going to be addressing how to discover your investor DNA, okay? So for everybody that's in attendance, I'm going to provide a free investor DNA assessment, okay? What do I mean by an investor DNA? Well, what I mean by that is this. When it comes to real estate, there's so many different things that you can do. It's sometimes difficult to figure out which one is, the one that's best and what do I really want to do? And I will answer this question in this upcoming meetup, but I'm going to be addressing how to connect what you do to who you are. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to be addressing and showing the correlation between what you do in real estate, what you do in the real estate investing world, and how to connect it to who you are as a person. I'll give you a little sneak peek, okay? For some of you, wholesaling is like, you love it. You just eat it up. It's like, oh, I love wholesaling. Man, wholesaling is awesome. And transactions in and out of deals and not a lot of responsibility for the actual nuts and bolts of a flip. For others of you, you hate the idea of door knocking or cold calling or outreach texting. And for some of you, like the idea of doing something like that just to get in a deal under contract and make, $5,000, it's like, oh, there's no way I want to do that. Okay, well, then you might want to look at what is your investor DNA. And when you consider the fact that who you are is vitally important to what you do, and by the way, what you do translates or correlates to what you have, right? Which, by the way, this concept goes all the way back to the very, very beginning of time as we know it. It's actually addressed in the book of Genesis, and I'm not going to get preachy on you today, but if you would look at the first commandment that's given to mankind by man's creator, God says to man, you need to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. So be, do, and then have. You'll have dominion over it. There's all kinds of really, really great concepts there. And some of this obviously is kind of like, you're like, oh, wait a second, you're talking about the Bible and things like that. I'm not talking about the Bible in the sense of preaching a sermon to you, although we could totally do that. It's just, this isn't the time I normally do that. Sunday mornings, every Sunday morning at 11:20 a.m. live Pacific Standard Time. If you want to join us for that, we do Bible study. I have no problem with admitting that or saying that or inviting you to that. But the point is this, the concept of be, do, and have, those things are related. You know what most people focus on? They focus on what they want, the have part, what they can get, the have part, and then they figure out that they have to do something to have stuff, right? And so people focus on having and doing and doing and having and having and doing, and they're stuck in this cycle, a lot of times not ever really landing on something that's succinct and that's definitive and that really actually connects with who they are, because most people don't take the time to figure out who they are. Now, I'm not going to be going super deep at the meetup, but we're going to be going into your investor DNA and doing an analysis and an assessment on that to find out who are you, because who you are as a person is going to directly connect to and correlate with what you do. Maybe the reason why you don't really do that great with wholesaling is because it's just not who you are. And that's okay. That's the whole idea. So instead of starting off 2026 just guessing and randomly throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks, instead of starting off another year like that, which, by the way, you start off another year like that, there's a pretty good chance you're going to end the year that way. Instead of doing that again, we're going to start off 2026 by getting in the right rooms with the right people to hear the right message. And we're going to be doing it in Portland. We're going to be doing it also here in the Treasure Valley and the Boise Meridian area. And I am looking forward to being in the rooms with you guys and connecting with you on a, kind of, I call it an intimate level, because we're down, we're hanging out together, we're shaking hands, we're they call it, in the sales world, they call it belly to belly, right? So we're going to be down in there together. It's not going to be through this, studio live stream. Who knows if this is actually real or not? We talked about that. Don't worry, Peggy, I'm real. I'll, prove it. Pinch myself. And, there's so much stuff out there nowadays that is AI generated and it's kind of fake. Nothing beats being in the room and connecting with one another and being able to have those real conversations and be able to express yourself in the moment. Communication, it's just a great thing. So I hope to see you guys January 15th. We're going to be posting the events in the respective Facebook communities, PDX REI group. If you aren't a part of that and you're in the Portland area, go ahead and go find us on Facebook, PDX REI group. And then same in the Treasure Valley. The Treasure Valley is there's not a lot of action in there yet, but if you guys look at the PDX REI group, we've got like 5,200 people in that group now. We're going to be starting to grow the Treasure Valley Real Estate Investors group, TVREI group, and I look forward to seeing you guys in there and then seeing you guys at the meetups coming up. All the events will be posted in there at the featured comments. So Peggy says no clones. Okay, Peggy, got you loud and clear. Peggy is anti-clone, anti-AI, at least in that respect. So Guys, I told you a few minutes ago that I've got to bounce right at the bottom of the hour. So this short episode today. Hopefully, you guys are pumped. Hopefully, you guys are getting excited about what this year is going to hold for you. And I hope that we get to see you out there. Oh, by the way, I told you to remind me. Thanks for reminding me, whoever that was. The cost. What is the cost of attending a PDX REI Group meetup? Peggy, I know you're a regular. Maybe you can just post it in the comments. Peggy, how much does it cost to attend our meetups in the Portland area? And by the way, this is actually not just something it's kind of willy-nilly, because there is a cost to me. I spend a minimum of about $500 every month that we do this. And now we're doing this in 2 locations. So we're going to be spending a pretty penny on the thing. Peggy, you're right. Love you so much. That's awesome. Peggy, I love you too. You know that. But she's absolutely right. It's free 99, folks. It's absolutely free to attend our meetups. Why in the world, if it's costing me money, why in the world do we put on these meetups every single month and not charge a cover fee? Because people have asked me, like, well, if you're not charging any money, you're going to have a bunch of tire kickers and stuff in there. That may be true. But yeah, Peggy says, I know Peggy, oftentimes she'll pick up the food for me for the PDX REI group. But Victor says, hey, where are the meetups? Victor, we're talking about either the PDX REI group meetup. That's every 3rd Thursday of the month in the Portland area, Beaverton to be specific. And that's Thursday, January 15th this month. And then we're starting the first of our monthly meetups. We've done a couple meetups here and there, but nothing consistently here in the Treasure Valley Meridian area. And what we're doing is we're starting our free meetups here in the Treasure Valley area, January 29th, Thursday, January 29th. Love to have you. Make sure that you guys are in the PDX REI group meetup. Make sure that you're in the Treasure Valley Real Estate Investors meetup, group on Facebook, so that you can get the information when it's posted. It'll probably be posted today or tomorrow. But Carla says to attract quality people. Well, Carla, some people would say that the way you attract quality people is you actually put a threshold, a price on the door, a door cover, and that way you won't have anybody coming in there just showing up for the pizza or for the the food, whatever it is. Peggy, she knows what we get. I can't remember what we get. But here's the thing: the reason I pay for this, the reason why we go to the trouble to secure these rooms, to get things set up, to put out the marketing on this, is because, in my opinion, there's nothing that beats getting to actually meet people face to face and to see what they're like in a real live setting. And I know for a fact there are people that they need to change their life. They need to turn things around. They need to find a way to make some extra income. And they might be thinking that real estate is an opportunity. They might be thinking that they've heard about it, they've watched some stuff, but they're too timid. They're not really sure of themselves. And so they want to come, they want to be a part of something, but they don't know where to start. And so when you start putting a price on just getting in the door, just to meet people and hear about this stuff and how it works, you start putting a price on the door to get in, an entry fee. In my opinion, this is just me. I know other people do it differently, but just for me, I go, man, once you start putting those prices out there, you're going to have a lot of people that they would love to come, but they're just, they're like, I'm not sure this is going to work for me. And so they won't spend the money because they don't have money, and they miss out on an opportunity. If you just open the doors and you're like, hey, you know what, come in. Yeah, you might be here just for the food. There's people I know that come to the meetups they're probably just there for the food. There's people that come just because it's a social event. But I have found that a lot of people, they appreciate not having to pay to get in the room just to learn about stuff from real people. I think that there's still something to be said for being able to walk into a room, meet people, get a feel for things, and see how you like it before you actually have to go open up your wallet and go spend money. So that's just my personal opinion, but I love the fact that we can do this. We don't charge money because we're looking to do deals together. We're looking to have people that are motivated. They want to be there. They're hungry, not just for the food, but hungry for deals, hungry for success. And so Peggy says, you be a quality person. There you go, Peggy. And you will attract quality people. I love that. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Victor, I hope that you got the information in the memo. It's good to have you here today, bro. And everybody else, I am sorry that I have to make this so short today. Today, I have to get out to another meeting. It's already scheduled, and it's about 20 minutes away, so I've got to get out of here. But I hope that I see you guys here at the beginning of 2026 at one of these two meetups. If you're in the Portland area, please come out to the PDX REI group meetup. Go check out the Facebook group. Join us. Look for the event. We're going to post in there tonight or tomorrow, and lock in. Schedule your. Make sure that we know you're coming. And then if you're in the Treasure Valley, Meridian, Boise area, hey, put the word out, guys. Help us spread this out. When you guys see that event thing on there, go ahead and register. But then share that link. Put the word out. Tag the TVREI group in your, on your page. Let other people in the space know, and invite your friends and family. You don't have to know anything at all about real estate. We just want to have good quality people there, and we hope that you show up. So Peggy says, thanks for a great Bible study on Sunday. Well, thank you, Peggy, for being there, and thanks for always encouraging me. Nice to know that somebody's out there listening. Hopefully it helped. Guys, I got to run, but looking forward to seeing you at one of these events. We'll have another Tuesday talk next week. I won't talk so much about the meetup, but I want to just plant the seeds out there so you guys get ready for it and be looking for the event. And then I'm looking forward to talking to you guys next week a little bit more about your investor DNA and then some other deals that I'm working on. But God bless you guys. Thanks for being here today. Hopefully this is a big kick in the pants and, put some oomph in your step as you guys get out there and just, kill the rest of this Tuesday. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you soon.